are good friends with the folks at Bostrom Seating.
Yeah, you're sitting in a Bostrom seat right now.
Indeed.
Yes.
And Commercial Vehicle Group, they recommended to come over here with you to honor the man that's sitting here next to me, who's our Truck of the Year for 2024. And we brought him to Matt's and plan to just kind of give the benefit of his wisdom to as many people as we possibly could here. He's an owner-operator. He's been in business for 3 decades, and actually all the time in business, he's been in the same 1995 Kenworth T600 that he's passed 4 million miles in. Quite a feat, and just a sharp businessman. He won that Trucker of the Year award for us this past year's program out of a field of 10. We do this every year. We take nominations from the beginning of the year all the way through September, and along the way we select Truckers of the Month every month. We do a big feature story and some audio interviews with them, and at the end of that period, it's an owner-operator focused business sort of competition in a way. And along the way, one of them ultimately separates themselves from the field. We have 9 different judges that look at financials and read the stories that we've written about them throughout the years. And we sit down and have a conversation about it, and we come up with a winner. And Alan Kitzhaber here from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, separated himself this year for sure. And I've got a little bit of a gift I just want to go ahead and get out of the way for him. The trophy in lieu of a trophy, quote unquote. We work with a gentleman named Eston Hoffman up in Pennsylvania. It's Hoffman Mechanical Design is his business, but he is an expert builder of scale model trucks and tractors and all kinds of old equipment. And we have a replica of Kitzhaber's 1995 Kenworth T600, and I just wanted to show it to him, and we'll see what it looks like and get his reaction. I hope.
So this is being introduced to him live?
Yes, live. You can't see it on the radio, but you're going to have to help us describe it.
Yeah, well, we're seeing it on YouTube and Facebook and Rumble. Yes, indeed. And we'll see it in Overdrive, I'm sure.
Okay, Alan, here we go. Truck of the Year, Alan Kitzhaber. It's pretty, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I wish the paint job in my truck was as good as this.
Yeah, we got to look at that yesterday. We had a conversation about it, in fact, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. That's beautiful.
So what's the deal? You drove that truck how long? I mean, is it...
I've driven that truck since January of 1995.
Okay. It's got a few miles on it.
Yeah, almost 4,105,000.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And the first couple of years you were driving it as a company truck, but then you bought it in 98?
Yes, in August of 98 I bought it from the company.
Right.
Okay.
And been an owner-operator ever since. Alan, you were leased to Millis to start, right?
Yes, I was. I started there, leased to them in 98, and I was with them all total between a company driver and an owner-operator about 18 years.
Yeah. We went out and I guess circumstances changed at Millis, right? And then you ended up, you leased to a couple of other companies after that.
Well, I went, the dot-com, or not the dot-com bubble, the Great Recession of 2008, 2009. People were cutting back, and owner-operators were kind of a casualty of that. And so I ended up leasing on with a company, Transport Designs, up in the Twin City area. I was with them for a year and a half or a little better, and then got a chance to get my own authority, and then contracted with Menards in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is a home improvement place, much like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. And I've been doing that for the last 14 plus years.
How about that? So how's it feel to be selected as, you're the Trucker of the Year?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'll be retiring on Monday, and so this is a great way to wrap up a driving career.
Is that you're not kidding? You're going to be retiring Monday?
Yeah.
Really? So this, you made it down to the truck show for like one last hurrah, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Have you been to the Mid-America over the years?
This is probably my 4th or 5th time.
Okay.
But it's been 10 or 12 years since I was here last, and things have changed a little bit in that period of time. A lot more exhibitors from overseas are here, and one thing is a lot more electronic stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot.
So retirement, what's in line? You're going to be the typical truck driver and get an RV and drive all over the country?
I'm actually looking forward to being at home after
Okay.
being away from home most of the time for the last 34 years.
Yeah.
I have 40 acres of wooded land that I plan on building a house on, and
Well, that'll keep you busy.
yes, and enhancing the property to attract more wildlife. So creating, food plots and doing other things that will attract more wildlife.
Okay.
That's kind of where my passions are.
Very interesting. I can't tell you how many drivers, and you've probably over the years heard the scenario, well, I'm retiring, but I'm going to actually go out and see the country, because when you're driving truck, you don't really get to
don't.
to appreciate all these destinations where people travel to vacation, but you don't get to actually see that. You're headed to a delivery or a pickup, and you're back on the road.
That's very true. That's
Yeah.
very true. So we'll see. Right now, I just want to be at home. I might get the itch to get on the road once I'm at home, and if I do, then I will.
Okay.
But for right now, I think I just want to be at home.
What do you think the chances are of one of the other scenarios that happens a lot is they retire and 6 months later they say, you know what, I miss it. I got to get back out there.
I don't think that'll be an issue for me.
No problem there. Okay.
I have too many other interests and hobbies that I'm looking forward to being a part of.
Okay.
That I don't have the opportunity to be a part of now because I just don't have the time.
Gotcha.
And Alan, he's one of the things that really set him apart in our competition was just the preparation that he put into the planning for retirement, and the saving and investing he's done since the day one on the road. And that's not something that a lot of people put a lot of diligence into, particularly early in their business careers.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat down with our trucker of the year last year. He's here at the show. His name is Jay Hosty. He's actually got a beautiful truck over in the Alliance Truck Group booth. If anybody at the show listening to this, go check that out. But we sat down. We all had a little bit of conversation about retirement planning, and Alan's definitely well set up for it financially. He's not going to need to truck again, I don't think.
No,
But,
I won't need to unless I do something stupid financially. I'm not going to do that.
So what kind of advice would you give for some of the drivers out there that are listening or watching you on some of the feeds to get set up for that time?
Well, number one, start investing. Stick a certain amount of money away. I put in the last 35 years, I've been putting 15 to 20% away of my income. And I would consistently put money away every single month, discipline it, be very disciplined with that. It's a bill. Look at it as a bill. And just keep doing that. I would suggest getting a financial advisor to help you out with that. I use Robert W. Baird. They've served me well. And just get some expert advice as to how to invest your money. What mutual funds are I prefer mutual funds versus stocks because it gives you more diversity. Some people may want to do things a little differently.
But so you didn't do like a 401k thing? You did?
Well, I did have a 401k when I was at Millis Transfer, but I rolled that over into a traditional IRA when I left. And then I started a simple IRA to replace that 401k as a self-employed individual. I also added a Roth IRA and an HSA, and I have two individual accounts that I have money in for rainy day money, for overhauls, things like that. But you just have to discipline yourself to do it. And if you discipline yourself to put money away every month, the big thing is don't let the market scare you and pull out, because you're almost always going to lose. Just leave it there.
You mean like trying to do time the market?
Yeah,
if things start going down, you panic and you move it over to what, like is it bonds or whatever, and then when it starts coming, then you can't make changes for 30 days. In your 401k anyway, my experience.
Yeah. Well, my financial advisor has a saying that I really like, and he says it's not market timing, but time in the market that grows your portfolio.
Right.
And that's the approach that I've taken, and he has clients that get nervous and they pull their money out, and their returns are nowhere near as good as mine, just because they couldn't handle the downturns.
What was some of the other criteria? What are you looking at with your...
Well, I mean, with the evaluation for the Truck of the Year award, I mean, we look at the total package, right? Like it's all the entrants. You have to submit references. We talk to the references, at least some of them. Sometimes it's hard to get calls back from busy business people at shippers,
right.
brokers, and what have you. But usually, the more references you talk to, the better candidate you have, because these people are really excited to talk about it. But so we references, but financial information as well, just basic profit and loss for the most recent full calendar year. And, like I said, we talk a lot to the entrants, we try to tell their story, as they tell it to us. And then, all the intangibles that come along with that. Involvement in other activities, sometimes a factor. But mostly it's business acumen. It's clearly a solid business person that sets himself apart from the rest of the field, in the most ways. But Alan's truly deserving owner-operator in that respect, and totally happy to have him playing along with us, as it were. But in that vein, I know our sponsors at Bostrom had something they wanted to give you, Alan. Actually, again, it's radio. A lot of people out there are not going to be able to see this, but some people will.
Yes.
Jason, bring it on over here, son. So Bostrom is a great company, and they partner with us on this program to sponsor it and make it put a little more sort of sweetness in the pot for the winter. And so Alan here is going to be the beneficiary of a brand new Bostrom seat with Commercial Vehicle Group, and really thank them for their support. And I know Bostrom's a great seat, really well liked by.
We're all sitting in them.
Yeah, I know we're sitting in them right
we're
now.
All sitting, I got the office chair though. I got the Bostrom wide ride office chair. Did you know they make office chairs?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay. I might have to get one of those.
It's awesome.
Thank you for that, Jason, and thank you guys for Bostrom for their support. They're sponsoring the contest this year, actually, too. We've had the entry period open for nominations since about the time about end of last year, actually, before we even announced that Alan had won this past year's program. And any owner operators out there that feel like they've got a story to tell, they're profitable, doing things in an effective way, just to keep the business running. Encourage folks to nominate themselves, nominate folks that they know, that they admire, mentors that they learned from, or just people that are peers that they feel are excelling in ways that deserve some recognition, and have something to give back to the rest of the trucking community, because that's what this kind of thing is. That's what this thing is all about. But I'd encourage folks to visit overdriveonline.com/top trucker. That's essentially where you can enter yourself as a Truck of the Year nominee. And I mean, Alan, it's not that difficult of a process, right?
To apply?
Yeah, to apply.
It's been a while since I filled out the application, but it wasn't difficult.
Yeah. There's a couple of different forms involved. The first one is very simple, and then the follow-up is where you get into more detail. And that's kind of the more difficult one. But basically, the first one is just the basic information about how long you've been driving, been trucking as an owner-operator too, and just details about where you're from and DOT number and that kind of thing. But the follow-up is where you kind of have to dig into the profit and loss statement or your tax forms and that kind of thing. But it's a pretty simple process, and we've had a couple of great stories so far with January and February Truckers of the Month, and encourage folks to go read them. Owner-operator Ken Berdur out in California, and February Truck of the Month, Kenny Wingate down in Florida. He's got a 2-truck fleet. Yeah, so entries are open to owner-operators with up to 3 trucks total.
Okay.
Yeah,
but exclusively for owner-operators.
Yep. But you can have more than 1 truck. It's not just 1 truck. It's up to 3.
Okay.
Yep. But I think it's program's going really well. I get a lot out of it. A lot of that content kind of funnels back into our educational program. We get a lot of my motivation in honoring some of the best in the business is an opportunity to share ideas for how we can hone this craft. The trucking is an owner operator craft, and just kind of really build a knowledge base for kind of the next generation to learn from. We have a brand new revamp of a long-running program called Partners in Business that we conduct with ATBS. That a lot of the insights gleaned from outstanding owners in the Truck of the Year program, like Alan here, end up funneling into, and just they all live on our Partners in Business website, fully accessible to any owner out there, whether new or experienced, to sort of use as a self-help resource when it comes to business topics. I know Alan's kind of a model subject in that regard.
Well, speaking of, being the owner-operator thing, the big debate is always, well, I can make as much money working for a company as I can as an owner. You've got all the responsibility. And if you have a breakdown, it's coming out of your pocket. What would you say you made good money, obviously, as an owner-operator. Was it keeping the door shut and staying out of the truck stops and staying away from the penny machines and all that stuff?
Oh, it's just being a businessman and treating it like a business and running it like a business. That's the big part of it right there. Now, there is some truth. If you're working as a company driver, you can probably make about the same as an owner-operator in most cases, I would say, without the responsibility. But if you're a owner-operator that is a businessman, you can make more money if you run it right. It's a business. Run it like a business. Make business decisions. And that's a little tougher. There's more challenges. There's more risk, but there's more reward. There's more freedom.
Not everyone has that business mentality, though.
No, they don't. And some people try and fail, and some people keep trying and failing, and they're better off being a company driver. But if you're the kind of person who's willing to treat it like a business, run it like a business, then there's probably an opportunity for you there.
Okay. Did you try to discipline yourself as far as how much you're going to spend on food and whatnot? I mean, truck stop food, eating out, you're always having to eat on the go, and you can spend $100 in a night easy just spending that at the truck stop.
You can if you do that, but I prepare a lot of meals for me and take them on the road, and then I just heat them up in the microwave. And so I save a lot of money, and I have the convenience of having the food when I want it, and the quality of food, and the right amount of calories. And not everybody has that luxury, but you have to be disciplined to not overeat. You have to be disciplined about everything that you do. And if you have that kind of discipline, there's a future as an owner-operator. If you don't, then it's going to be tough sledding. And I think that's a big part of it right there.
Yeah. Well, there is an epidemic of obesity, not overall in the country, but especially in trucking. And it's that eating on the go thing.
Yeah. Well, eating too much. I see some of these guys, they'll go all day without eating, and then they'll just eat a huge amount of food in the evening and then go to bed. And then they'll grab a lot of high calorie dense foods to take with them to snack on as they drive. And you just have to have the self-discipline to do the homework and find out how many calories, number one, that your body needs based on your height and your weight goals. And there's plenty of information online that you can access. Mayo Clinic has a really good calculator for that.
I was going to say, what kind of budget did you set aside for a maintenance fund? Because tires blow, you have turbo failures.
I didn't have a maintenance budget per se, because you got to fix a truck when it needs to be fixed, and that's going to vary. Mm-hmm. But I have money in reserve of right now probably $60,000, and I would recommend, with the prices going up, that $50,000 or $60,000 is probably the right number. If you need an overhaul, you want to be able to pay for it, or at least pay most of it in cash, because you don't want to completely deplete your cash reserves. But it's very important to have that cash reserve available, because I've seen too many owner-operators go belly up because they had a major maintenance expense that they couldn't handle.
And that's certainly like the number one reason that owner-operators fail is mechanical failure and not having the reserve to cover it. And, people kind of vary on how much to set aside, right? But like maintenance expense is like on average, which it's hard to average that out because everybody's truck there's so much variation in the age of the truck.
You're right.
But it's like 12 to 13 cents or something like that per mile as an average for cost. But setting aside money, the formulas are all over the place.
Yeah, there's different formulas you can use. Now, you got a truck that's completely paid for, that number is going to go up, especially if it's an older truck, percentage-wise. But the biggest thing you can do to try and help yourself there is have a good maintenance program. Get yourself a shop that you can develop a relationship with, that you can go to on a regular basis, which is what I've done for the last 23 years now. They've done all the work on my truck for the most part. And get it in there on a regular basis. I get it in every 12,500 miles and have it greased, have it looked over from front to rear. And then there's times when it's in the shop more often than that for other things that need to be taken care of. And if you do that, if you stay on top of your maintenance, you're not going to find yourself on the road needing to do expensive maintenance repairs at truck stops or other facilities that are going to charge you a whole lot more money. And the other thing is you lose time. If you're broke down, who's going to deliver that load? What's that going to do to your reputation with your shippers and receivers and the companies you work with? So developing a solid maintenance program, I think, is paramount to your success as an owner-operator.
Did you ever do the bypass filter thing, try to do the extended oil life?
I do.
Okay.
I go 50,000 miles. I have an OPS filter system on there.
Gotcha.
And I originally had a Spinner 2 filter system on there, and then I switched over to the OPS. So my truck has been on a 50,000-mile oil change interval its entire life.
So you obviously do the sampling thing, right? You send the samples
every 12,500 miles. Every month I do a sample.
Okay.
Steve, I was just reminded of something. There's a guy standing over here behind me. His name is Jay Hosty. This is our Truck of the Year from last year.
Okay.
He, in a 2006 Western Star 4900, I think, he started sampling his oil. No bypass filtration, nothing. And he got the routine of doing that, extending the drain. And at a certain point, like he thought to himself, like, well, how far does this go? They're telling me the oil's good. Let's keep going until they tell me it's not good. He got to 100,000 miles, and the oil was still good. But then he said, 100,000 interval, that's pretty extensive. I'm just going to change there. And he continued to do that. You save a lot on oil that way, right?
Correct, yeah. I mean, if you use the full synthetic, are you doing the synthetic
I'm using the full synthetic, but Jay's not.
I think he was using full mineral oil, right?
He's using regular mineral oil.
I mean, because the full synthetic doesn't break down, so...
Well, the TBN is what you have to keep an eye on, the total base
number. Yep.
And that's what was depleting. I had Shell Rotella T6 full synthetic. I ran that for a number of years. And then when we had the 2020, when we had the COVID thing kick in, that wasn't available, so I switched over to Mobile. And the Mobile had a better TBN or a better additive package altogether because the TBN held up better. So I switched to Mobile now, and I haven't had any issues. So in my opinion, it's a better oil, at least for the engine that I have.
Gotcha.
Caterpillar, yeah.
Alan's wearing the Caterpillar 4 Million Mile Club's sweatshirt. He's the only member of that we know. Well, no, there's one more, right?
Well, I was told that there was another person, but when I asked who it was, when it was, or anything like that, they didn't have any answers. Just somebody working in the office said, yeah, we had somebody got over 4 million miles sometime in the past.
Yeah, it must have been a while ago.
Well, let me say congratulations to you, Alan.
Thank you.
Enjoy the retirement, I guess.
I plan to.
We'll find out in short order if he really does retire. But I'm kidding.
The amount of knowledge this man has accumulated is invaluable, to all of us, I think. And I know I'm gonna stay in touch with him for sure.
Okay. Well, we got to wrap it up there, top of the hour, and again, enjoy the rest of the show here. Live from Louisville, it is the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.